Today I just did it. My mom and I got into it last night, and this morning my brother and I packed up our shit and just got on a Greyhound. I'm honestly scared, but I just wanted to drop by and say thanks to all of you in this thread for making the impossible seem more real. A new beginning unfolds. Just hours ago, my world changed dramatically. Following a tense argument with my mom, my brother and I took decisive action. We swiftly gathered our belongings, and before I could process the enormity of our situation, we boarded a Greyhound bus. To be honest, I'm consumed by a mix of emotions, but I felt compelled to stop by and express my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you in this thread. Your words of encouragement helped me realize that what seemed like an insurmountable challenge wasn't as impossible as it initially seemed. Your support reassured me that I wasn't alone, and that my experiences were not a reflection of my worth as an individual, but rather a result of how I was being treated. I wish you all the best for your own journeys and am now embarking on a new adventure. Edit. I may not be as active as I used to be, but know that your words have had a lasting impact on me and I'm grateful for that. Update. I wanted to let you all know that I've been doing okay. It's been a tough road, but I've been learning to navigate it and find my footing. I still keep in touch with a few of you. Just realized I'm funny. I said a joke about certain doctors' uniforms. My mother works in the hospital. When my sister and dad were there, they didn't say anything. I said the same in my online Spanish class while we were Skyping and talking in the beginning of the class. It hit me that I have a knack for humor. While my mom was working at the hospital and I was visiting, I made a lighthearted comment about a doctor's attire, with my dad and sister present. They remained quiet. I made the same joke during my online Spanish class via Skype, and it sparked a burst of laughter from the group. Reflecting on my childhood, I was once a timid, anxious, and withdrawn individual. TLDR realized I'm funny when others laughed at a joke I made in Spanish class, but my family didn't find it amusing. How much rent can I charge someone for a single bedroom and care of my 2 cats, 3 dogs, and 2 horses? Highlights. Current roommate pays $200 a week but won't care for the animals. It'll only take an hour a week. Open some cans and throw food at the horses. Current pet. Determining a fair rent for a multi-purpose household as I consider renting out a single bedroom in my home. I'm also thinking about the responsibilities involved in caring for my 2 cats, 3 dogs, and 2 horses. One of my current roommates pays $200 a week to stay here, but they're not willing to take on any pet care duties. Caring for the animals seems like a relatively minimal task, requiring only about an hour of my time each week. This involves basic tasks such as feeding, providing fresh water, and possibly some light cleaning. In comparison, my current pet sitter charges $50 per week, but this rate includes their travel costs. It's likely that a live-in caretaker would not require reimbursement for travel expenses. Considering these factors, I'm trying to determine a fair rent for someone who would be willing to take on these responsibilities. If a baby reaches through my picket fence and one of my small dogs bites her, am I responsible? They have no fence and they have been warned. I've even seen them with the baby at the fence trying to get her to pet them. When I saw them, I opened the door and called the dogs and warned. Potential liability concerns with unfenced neighbors and pets. As a homeowner with a picket fence, I've noticed that my neighbors have been visiting the fence with their baby, attempting to engage with my small dogs. On one occasion, the baby reached through the fence, and unfortunately, one of my dogs bit her. Considering the situation, I'm left wondering whether I'm accountable for the incident. The neighbor's family, which includes the baby, doesn't have a fence surrounding their property, and I've taken it upon myself to warn them about the potential risks associated with having pets and an open property line. Despite these warnings, the baby continued to interact with my dogs, and I even intervened by opening the door and calling them inside. My home is insured, which may provide some protection in case of a lawsuit. However, the parents of the baby appear to be unemployed, which could make it challenging for them to pursue legal action. Interestingly, the baby's father is not a homeowner, but his mother owns the property. TLDR: potential liability concerns arise when a neighbor's baby interacts with a homeowner's pets, especially when the neighbor's property lacks a fence. In a toxic family system, the black sheep is often just the one who sees through everyone else's bullshit. Jamila Jamil from The Good Place posted that quote on her Instagram today, and it really spoke to me. Years of being my family's scapegoat and constantly being a target in the toxic family web. A quote from Jamila Jamil on her Instagram today struck a chord with me. The phrase, "In a toxic family system, the black sheep is often just the one who sees through everyone else's facade," resonated deeply. My own experiences with being constantly belittled and excluded by my family members left me feeling drained and disillusioned. Reading those words felt like a breath of fresh air, and I hope they bring validation to anyone who has endured similar treatment. TX. Trying to get a divorce. My wife had a baby with another man, and the child was taken by CPS. How do I prove I am not the father to complete my divorce? The daughter was put in foster care and I have no access or contact information. CPS has told me since I was not a party. Navigating a divorce amidst uncertainty. I'm currently navigating a divorce, complicated by the fact that my wife had a child with another man and the child was taken into custody by Child Protective Services. As a result, I'm struggling to demonstrate that I am not the biological father to facilitate the divorce proceedings. Given that my daughter is currently residing in foster care, I've been denied access to contact information by CPS, citing my non-involvement in the adoption case. The divorce court requires me to establish paternity. However, this poses a significant challenge. To prove my non-paternity, I must explore available options despite the hurdles presented by CPS. Guy comes into my live stream, sends message afterwards. So this guy kept coming into my wood carving live stream on Instagram, asking about carvings he'd love to have made. I'm used to people speculating, "Oh, I'd love to have this made," and then going quiet, ghosting when they love. A viewer drops by my live wood carving stream on Instagram, makes an unexpected request. I've grown accustomed to viewers expressing interest in my wood carvings during live streams on Instagram, only to lose interest or go silent once they discover the cost. However, one particular individual caught my attention as they continued to make appearances in my broadcasts, inquiring about custom pieces they'd love to own. What struck me as unusual was that they didn't simply express a passing interest in purchasing a carving, but instead made it clear that they expected it to be created at no cost to them. Their expectation